Welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Saturday, March 29th, and we are here. We, me, Jill Schlesinger, he, Mark Talercio, we are here to be your mentors, your coach, your financial Sherpas. We want to carry the load with you. How do you like that as a Mark? We are the financial Sherpas. Good, right?
I was just about to say Sherpa, and you beat me to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we are so aligned. It's scary. Hey, gang, if you have something going on in your financial life, we'd love to hear from you. All you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button. And while you're there, after you write your note, you can see all the content that we create. There is a blog section, there are videos, there's resources, and you can always sign up for the free weekly newsletter, which comes out every Friday. Consider it your tune-up for the weekend. So, Mark, first things first, when do we start the planting season? Did you receive the plant? I received my plant, by the way.
No, I couldn't do it.
Why?
They could only ship to one address.
Oh, all right. Well, I just received some new plants. No planting outside yet, but indoor plants. And it is springtime. So I know you're getting excited for your spring planting season. When does that occur for you?
Indoor has begun. I planted my vegetable seeds. They will be growing indoors until probably mid-May. Then they'll go outside. Outside, I've done all the pruning. I pruned all the hydrangeas and everything. A couple of my evergreens, man, they take a beating up there because it's so windy.
Yes.
So I'm hoping they all snap back to life.
Well, I hope so for your sake. So with springtime and tax time, a couple of things that just kind of smack me in the face. First of all, I love my tax planning because it just gets you focused on your money in a different way. It's like when I say it's July and someone has to focus on their money, they're not going to do it. But this time of year, you are focused. The other thing I love about it is that when it's springtime and it's your financial life and it's tax season, then you can actually really start to get that shredder fired up and try to make some proactive changes to your financial life. And it starts with just cleaning things up, like your physical cleanup. Now, Mark, you do this all the time, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm not representative of the general population. I'm a bit nuts when it comes to this stuff.
So what we thought would be good is using this show, today's show, as a prompt to help you guys start your financial spring cleaning. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to air a segment that I did last week on CBS Mornings. The anchors are Tony DeCopel and Adriana Diaz. And we're going to talk a little bit about the cleaning up of the actual physical and electronic files in your life. And then Mark and I are going to then discuss on the other side of this some of the ideas that we have for how you can clean up some of your accounts overall. I didn't get to that in the actual segment. So, Mark, let's cue this segment and you and I will talk on the other side of it.
This is also the middle of tax season.
Yes.
What do people need to know when it comes to storing tax documents?
It used to be that people had these boxes of taxes from, like the Friends era, 1990s. And so you don't need to keep them that far. But to be clear, you do need the past 3 years' returns and the supporting documentation in case the IRS audits you. They usually go back 3 years. Now, the thing is, if they find something that they call like a substantial error, they can go back an additional 3 years. So for safety, 6 years of returns, doesn't have to be in a box, can be on the cloud. You can talk to, if you have a tax preparer, can you get it on disk? Is it stored electronically? 6 years with all the supporting documents just in case. Good news is that every year that rolls off, you fire up that shredder, right down, baby. It's great.
I had a water heater in the basement explode and a lot of paperwork got wet. It's not really legible. How worried should I be?
Not that worried.
Okay.
I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to recreate it?
Well, that's what I mean. You call the restaurant. I need that receipt from 2019, if you don't mind.
You do your best.
What about bank statements? Some people get those still in the mail.
So some people have them in the mail. Some people get them electronically. And usually a bank will keep statements online for a year. So that's good because you can get them. The one thing is I will print out a statement if I think I need something for tax purposes and put that in my little file that says Taxes, current year. So what am I talking about? Well, if you're the kind of person who donates or you want to circle something and say, oh, that was something my friend was doing a bike ride and I sponsored them, print that one out. Keep it. Again, you don't have to have a bulging file of actual, statements. But if you have old ones, please get a shredder. It's a good investment. And you really can shred a lot of this stuff on the way, but you don't need a ton of stuff hanging around the house.
What if you just burn it in the backyard in a big barrel?
That's illegal, I think. So no.
I bet you have a big shredder, Jill.
I have a massive shredder. You have no idea. I look like a federal government employee right now.
Okay, is there anything that you should keep forever?
There is, and this is really important because I always come on here and I nudge you about getting your estate documents done, right? So a will and your power of attorney and your health care proxy, you keep that forever and until you update it. Social security cards, birth, death certificates. I found out when I had a marriage, the second one, I needed my divorce decree. So that's important. You need to have military discharge papers, especially if you think you're the type of person who would want to be buried in a military cemetery.
Oh, wow.
You need your discharge papers. You can, look, a safe deposit box is a little old school, but I think it's okay in the cloud. Fireproof safe or bag somewhere that you can keep these documents.
Safe. Oh, that's
yeah.
smart.
Although my brother-in-law is an engineer and he says nothing's that fireproof, but I think having electronic copies of these and making sure that the other people in your life have access to some of those copies.
So one of the things that I think people do is they just hang on to stuff too long. But on the other hand, they don't keep their tax documentation long enough. So you should have seen everybody on the set when I said, you can have an audit in 3 years, but they can go back to more than 6 years. I saw the panicked look at the various people who were in the studio about 6 years of documents. One guy's like, I threw everything away. And by the way, don't throw anything away, shred everything, right? So that's number one. I think that keeping statements like bank statements, you can get that stuff. So, you get the shredder, get that going. I also think that it's funny because, Mark, when you go to a restaurant, they say, do you want your receipt from the credit card? I always say no. What do I need a receipt for?
It depends. If they're just going to print it out on their end and just throw it in the trash, which is usually what they do.
Exactly right.
Then I tend to take it.
Yeah. I mean, I will take it just in case because I'd rather take it in my stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the big takeaways that I have when it comes to tax time is, cleaning out the files, but also combining accounts. So, Mark, you know that people leave firms and places of employment all the time.
Yep.
And we've talked to these folks so often, and they've got account here, account there, account here, account there. So let's talk a little bit about what it means to consolidate accounts. So first of all, sometimes you have like an orphan investment account or a bank account. Just let's combine these things because maybe even, people are like, oh, I had a CD here and it came due and I went there and I did. Put it all together. Just get higher balances. You can probably avoid or reduce some of the fees. Maybe you'll get even a better deal. Now, Mark, let's talk a little bit about how to combine retirement accounts. So I have 3 old accounts, 1 rollover account, and 1 current retirement account. Is it better to just put everything in an IRA rollover? Like, what's the choice when you leave a job? How should we approach cleaning up that account? What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, there's really 2 options. One is to combine everything into a traditional rollover IRA at a brokerage firm, or if your employer allows it, you can usually roll the old plans into your current plan where you're currently working.
And one of the reasons that I like trying to consolidate it in one place is I think that it's easier to manage. It's easier to make sure that you're properly diversified, but also even just from the mechanical standpoint of, you are making changes in one account. Do you really remember to do it in every account? And I like the idea if you can consolidate everything in an existing retirement account, because then I don't have these orphan IRA accounts that are going to subject me to different rules if I'm trying to do backdoor Roths. And I just think it's nice and clean. Oh, and by the way, if you're the kind of person who thinks you might need some sort of 401k loan, Sometimes having like an active plan with a balance can help you with that. And if you've got all that done and you've got it all in one place, and now you got to start to say, well, how am I going to make sure I don't mess around with this? How about putting this plan on an auto rebalancing? Because in a lot of IRA accounts, you can't do that, Mark. It's only in those employer plans where they let you do automatically rebalance, once a year, twice a year, 4 times a year. Otherwise, don't you have to do it by hand if it's just a plain old self-directed IRA or rollover IRA?
Yeah, I've never come across an IRA that lets you rebalance. It's only the workplace plans.
So that's why I think the workplace plans do have an advantage. I really do. What else should you do in terms of your cleaning up for your springtime financial life? Well, you just got through tax filing. Did you come out with a big tax refund? Should you adjust your withholding? Do you need to now maybe pay some quarterly estimates? There are things you learn from the tax planning process, and it would be a shame to let this go by and not make an actual plan of action that can improve your financial life. So I think that this is all a great reminder. It could be that maybe you just moved and you have a new house and you got space. That's great. But just get rid of the stuff, consolidate, put your financial life on autopilot as much as you can. What other spring cleaning tips do you have, Mark?
Well, you just reminded me, the first quarter estimated payment is right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
I have to get on top of that.
You forgot about that.
No, I mean, spring cleaning, it's funny. The first quarter is always the first 3 months of the year. It's always the busiest for me in terms of my personal financial life. That's like taxes. When I file this year, like I just filed for 2024, I always go back 7 years and I throw out those tax returns. Cause like you just said, 6, 7 years, that's when you should hang on to them. So I always throw out the oldest copy of tax returns that I have.
Maybe this is actually a good time. If you haven't done it, maybe go to ss.gov and establish an account to get your Social Security estimate. Like these are the kinds of things, like especially if you paid your taxes and you were online with the IRS, maybe you have your login already. How about we do that? All these things, it's like you're in the mode, go with it.
And by the way, the first quarter is when Social Security statements come out. So I know Amanda and I just both got emails from them recently saying your latest statement is now available. So I logged in, I checked on that. It's the first quarter is the perfect time to do all that stuff. And then you know what? Then you got the rest of the year to not have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Or just give us a holler if actually you do need to worry about it. So if you've got a question, you need some help with your own financial spring cleaning, Mark and I are going to Marie Kondo your life. Just get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the contact us button, send us a note. And of course, if you'd like to join us live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. All of the content lives on the website, but you may want to just quickly sign up for the free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday. We'd love it if you got that. It's a wonderful way to tune up for the weekend. Mark Talercio is my co-host and executive producer and king of all things web. We drop our episodes on Saturdays and Sundays. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.